Okay, welcome back, and also welcome to part 3 of lesson 1. This is the final part for this lesson. And previously in parts 1 and 2, we talked about some of the things that you're going to need to complete this course, as well as the additional resources you're going to need to download. And then in part 2, we actually established a hosting account, connected the domain to that hosting, upgraded the PHP to the most recent version, established an email, and placed an SSL certificate on the website. So now at this point, we're ready to go ahead and install WordPress. We're going to install our theme and any related plugins. And then in the beginning of lesson 2, part 1, moving forward, we're going to start building out a WordPress website with the 5 pages we talked about. All right, so without further ado, I've already logged into SiteGround, and I'm going to click on my Accounts tab. Oops, I got to log back in. And under my Accounts tab, I'm going to go to cPanel. And I'm going to find iWeber, which is the domain I'm going to use for this tutorial and lesson. And so you would select your appropriate domain. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down. You have a bunch of tools and resources here on your cPanel for your domain and your hosting. We're going to scroll down to Softaculous. Under Software and Services, we're going to select that, choose Install WordPress, and I recommend just doing the HTTPS without the www. It seems to be easier. If you're into SEO, you can make sure that the various versions, HTTPS, HTTP, the www, is set up appropriately on Search Console. Of course, that'll be for a different video. So my site name is iWeber. And you would make your site name here, then the site description, which is kind of like a tagline. WordPress tutorials. And as far as the username, of course, I'm just going to use iWeber. And I don't want you guys to see my password. Okay, and remember we established that email. And of course, this can be any email. This will be the email address for the WordPress admin. And I established the contact at iweber.com. Moving right along. You can limit login attempts, which prevents, like, if you're having a brute force attack, if somebody's trying to log into your site, you can limit the login attempts, and I'm going to go ahead and select that. If you would like, SiteGround includes a WordPress starter, and it helps you kind of with the setup process. You technically don't need to use that because I'm here to help you walk through this process, so I'm going to untick that. And then under the advanced options, you can actually change your database prefix and what have you. And you don't really need to do that as well. And then just select install. And SiteGround is blazing fast. It is just, everything is super quick. They have very, very, very powerful managed WordPress hosting specifically for WordPress. And as you can see now, it says, okay, congratulations, the software was installed successfully. And now if you click on this link right here, it's going to lead you to the admin login, and it automatically logs you in. And here we have our WordPress dashboard. So the first thing I want to go through before we install anything is actually just kind of a walkthrough of this dashboard, what everything is, what is important, and what really matters for the purposes of this lesson at this time. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the posts. Now, posts is essentially your blog, like your articles and information that is not static, that's always changing. Okay, and I believe SiteGround installs a temporary or like a dummy post. And so we're going to go ahead and just trash that. We're going to get rid of that post. And we're going to empty the trash out on that. Then we're going to check to see if they added any categories. They did not. this would be the categories for your blogging or your posts. Like, for instance, I would choose something like, WordPress, web design, application development. Those would be all different types of categories. If you were a news site, breaking news, health, life, those would be the categories. And then at the same time, you could have specific tags. And now tags work very similar to categories, except for it's kind of like, well, for lack of a better word, it's kind of like a hashtag for your WordPress website. And what's really cool is that whenever you get added to the Google search, indexing, some of those tags are relevant when people do searches as well. The next thing you have is your media library. Now, your media library is where you will be uploading pictures and graphics and what have you that you're going to use to display on your website. Your pages are next, and pages are typically static. In other words, they very rarely change. So this would be like your home page would be a static page. In other words, you put it up there once, you create the content, and then it pretty much stays the same. It gets indexed by Google, and so therefore it's considered static. Whereas your post or your blog page is always constantly changing with new posts, and so that wouldn't necessarily be a static page because it's always changing. The next thing we have is comments. Now, what comments are is, let's say you make a blog post or something like that, or you have a page. You can make it so that individuals who land on your website can comment on a post as long as they log in, and then you can approve or turn that post into, comment into spam and then trash it. But what this does is that the comments, good comments and genuine comments that aren't spammy, can actually help with your post SEO, which is super awesome. The next part of the menu dashboard here is your appearance. Now, under your appearance, this is where you're going to decide and choose what theme you want. You can, from this point, add new themes, or you can upload. Here is your customizer. Now, depending on the theme, you can have access to a lot of things or very little things, depending on the theme author and how they coded the theme in order for you to take advantage of it. It's usually pretty easy to figure out and navigate. And again, I'm going to be walking you through Themify here, which is really super easy. It's an amazing WordPress website builder. So that's the customizer. Your widgets, this is like I'm going to go ahead and delete all these. We don't want these here. Your widgets is like, your sidebars. You can have like your post, your meta, your archives. You can display categories. A good example of that is, I'll go ahead and quickly head to Webfolkster.com, my main website, and I'll give you an example of what sidebars look like. So here I am at Webfolkster. I'm already logged in as admin, but as you can see over in this portion, this would be the sidebar where we can actually plug widgets in. And it's really cool. And you can kind of, depending on the theme, you can add widgets to your sidebar. You can add widgets down here in your footer and cool things like that. And of course, we're going to walk through all of that in this tutorial. Moving right along, menus. So the menu section of the WordPress dashboard is where you would create the menu. Like, for instance, we're going to say main menu. So this would be our main primary menu. We're going to create that menu just for now, and we're going to make it our primary menu, and we're going to save it. And at this point, we're not going to put anything there, but what that menu would be is this right here. So as you can see here, I have menus up here, and these are the various pages, and whether they be a custom link or a blog post or a static page. All right, and we're going to walk through that in the tutorial. But again, this is just the overview. Here's the theme editor, and this is for more advanced users. This is where you can actually go in and edit the various functions of the theme. Highly recommended that you never ever do this. I don't even do this without first talking to the theme developer. So it's important that never change anything in here. It can actually break your site. and don't ever touch it unless, again, the developers of the theme direct you or guide you to do so. The next menu item is plugins. And so remember when we first installed WordPress, we asked for the loginizer to prevent multiple login attempts, and so that's a plugin. And the SiteGround optimizer is another plugin, and what this does is it allows us to determine the caching times and features, whether you want to minimize the CSS. A good example is here's the optimizer menu item and the login. So typically whenever you install a plugin, you'll see it here, and then it'll also be a new menu item typically on the WordPress dashboard, or it'll be under settings and you'll have an item here, or under tools and you'll have an item there for that plugin to adjust the settings for it. Okay. The next thing is you're going to have your users, and this is for individuals who want to have like guest blogs, guest posts. People have to register. You can make it so they have to register before they actually comment on a post and things like that. And for the purposes of this tutorial, we're not really going to get into that because it's just going to be you as the user, and you're going to build out a 5-page business website using WordPress. Then you have your various tools. You can import WordPress items, export them, so on and so forth. You can erase your data, you can export your data. Then you have your settings, which is your general settings here. And this gives you the ability to change your site title, your site tagline, your email address, whether or not individuals can register. If you do allow them to register, you can assign a role for them. You can adjust your time. And so I'm in, I believe, UTC -9, which is Alaska time. I'll save those changes. Then you have your writing. And this is like the rules that WordPress sets for, basically allowing individuals to comment, for you to comment, and what have you. Reading, and here, first what we have to do is, so you can see the functions of these menu items, let's just quickly create 2 pages. We're going to create a home page and a blog page. And we're going to do that by going to Pages, Add New. Type in Home right here in the menu block and click Publish. It's going to ask you twice, and just confirm. So now that's published. Then we're going to add another new page, and it's going to be our blog, and then we're going to publish that. Now we're going to go back down to settings, and we're going to go to reading. And this is what individuals will see when they first land on your website. You can make it so that they either land on your latest posts, which would be a non-static page, or you can make it so that they land on a static page, which is what we're going to do. We're going to choose static page. We're going to select home page for the home page, and then the post page, we're going to select the blog. And this lets WordPress know what page is a static home page and what page is your post page, which is not static and consistently changes. If we're building this on the fly and you don't want Google to index it, you can discourage the search engines from indexing the site until such time as you have completed the build out. And again, we're doing this on the fly. So we're building this live. We're going to save those changes. And now if you go to the front end by clicking on this and visit the site, you can see that, okay, wow, yeah, we have a home page which is being served. And since we don't have a menu yet, we have no menu items. So let's go back to the WordPress dashboard, excuse me, and go to Appearance right here. We're going to go to Menus. We're going to make sure we're selected on the main menu. We're going to add the home page and the blog page, add that to the menu, and make sure the home page is first. Then we're going to save that menu. Now, if we go back to the front end, you can see that now we have menu items, home, blog. Very simple. And right now we are just using the free standard WordPress theme that comes with it. I think it's the 2019 theme. and say, let's go back to the dashboard. And the next thing we're going to do is go to Appearance, Themes, and we're going to add a new theme. We're going to go and select a new menu item, or not a menu item, but a new browser. We're going to go to Themify. We're going to log in there, and I'm a member. I'm going to go to my member area, and I'm going to download. And I recommend that you do this too. So if you become a Themify Master member, it's like $89 for the year, and you get access to all their themes, all their plugins, the whole 9 yards, and it's good for a year. And excuse me, I've included the I've included the links below. All right, we're going to go ahead and download the Themify theme. Now, while we're here, we're going to go ahead and download the Builder Button Pro. We're going to download the Builder Contact, Builder Image Pro, and the Builder Maps Pro. And that should be it for now. Head back over to your tab where you're at your admin, upload a theme, choose your file, go to the downloads. There they are, holy cow. And we're going to choose a Themify Ultra, and we're going to install that. We're going to activate it. And as you can see, Themify has what? 1, 2, 3, 12, 15, 18, 22 pre-made skins is what they call them. And these are like ready websites. You click a button, you make sure you have the relevant plugins installed, and voila, you have an instant website for accountant, agency, an app, a coffee shop, ebook, e-commerce website, an education site, a fitness site. It's just absolutely amazing. And the versatility and the power of Themify is just amazing. To top it all off, the builder is drag and drop, and it is absolutely crazily easy. You guys are going to love it. So this theme requires Themify Portfolio Posts. We're going to begin installing that plugin. And we're going to install that. Return to the active. We're going to install the Themify Updater. Now we're going to go to the plugin section, and we're going to add the plugins that we downloaded. We're going to add the Builder Contact. This allows you to create a contact form on your website, which is pretty cool. We're going to upload all of those plugins we downloaded. Builder Image Pro. This allows us to customize images that we upload. Maps Pro for your location. In case you have more than one location, the Maps Pro allows you to activate multiple locations. And I think that's it. Button Pro. I don't think I have the Button Pro yet. All right. So now let's go ahead and activate those portfolio posts and activate the updater. Okay. So now we have completed part 3 of lesson 1. We have installed WordPress, did a quick walkthrough of the WordPress dashboard, installed the theme and the relevant plugins that we're going to need to complete the remainder of the course. And if you go to the front end, you'll see that now you have a basic install of WordPress with a new theme and your 2 menu items here, your home page and your blog for the primary menu. And so we're going to go ahead and end this here. And in lesson 2, part 1, we're going to begin building out a 5-page WordPress website. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you there. Bye for now.